Hi, it's Claude. I'm here in the tiny kitchen, and I worked a little late tonight, and so it's getting kind of late, and I still have to make dinner for my family because, they're, I don't know, in theory, functioning adults who could have put something together but didn't. So it's up to me. So I'm going to do something kind of fast and dirty, but they will still enjoy, and it'll still be filling and nutritious and all that business. So I'm going to show you how to make a very quick red sauce for pasta. Okay, let's go down there and see what's going on. Okay. All right. So remember, this sauce is meant to be made fairly quickly. So we're not dawdling here. We're not going to be simmering for a million years because this is something we want to get done. And so we are not using a lot of, extra special ingredients for this one, right? So we got a pan over here, and I'm going to just start warming it up on medium-low heat. And I am going to take some fresh garlic. I've got a couple of cloves here. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. And, if you're like me, you're the kind of person who says, what? Clove of garlic, half a bulb coming up. But trust me on this one, there'll be more coming later, all right? I've got my Pampered Chef garlic peeler. Look at that. That's still so amazing. This one's about to give up the ghost. This one's really old, so I'm going to have to get me a new one during this party. That's one, and I got another one here. Bim, bam, boom. Peeled, just like that. Okay, and get my big honking knife. I'm going to lop off the bottoms here. Just should have done in the first place. And now we give it a mush, and just chop up real quick. If you don't, that's the other part. If you don't have the knife skills for this sort of thing, Pampered Chef does make a chopper. You put it into the pot, into the bottom, put the lid on, knock it out in a few quick hits. It's really good. I actually have one. I didn't think to break it out for you for this recipe, but I am going to demonstrate it in another one real soon. So, got our garlic whacked up, got our pot warming up. It's still not especially hot. That's because my stove is a million years old. And one of the things I like to do to tell whether a pot is up to speed or pan, throw a little water in there. Okay. Right now the water's just kind of sitting there, so I know the pan is not necessarily hot enough. But I will tell you some of the other things that we are going to need. So I've got a can of crushed tomatoes. We've got the can of diced tomatoes. Okay, if you want something a little bit sweeter, you would put in tomato sauce. We're not going to use that one this time. And then I've got some tomato paste. By the way, if you have recipes that only need a little bit of tomato paste, you can get it. Here we go. Check this out. You can get it in these tubes. It look like toothpaste tubes. This holds about 4.5 ounces. So roughly a small can's worth. Okay, this is concentrated tomato paste. And you just take the cap off, squidge out what you need. Because once in a while you get those recipes that only ask for like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of tomato paste. That's where this comes in extra handy. And most of these, you don't even have to refrigerate once you're opening. Although this one says you should. Put it right back in. I wound up using those things in the space of a couple of weeks, so it's not a big deal. My pan is starting to get hot, so we're getting there. All right. We're going to need some herbs. If you want to, if you have a little bit of time and you want to make it a little bit of extra special, you can put in meatballs into this or sausage. If you have it already cooked or pre-bagged meatballs, that kind of thing, those are going to be easier to throw in because you're looking to hurry in this particular case, right? All right. My water is just about to disappear, but here's the thing. Once the water's disappeared, you know that the pan is up to about 200 degrees. I guess that's nice, but it's not necessarily going to get the job done for you. So what you want is where you throw the water in and it sizzles right away, okay, or better yet, if it just starts dancing around, okay, that means your pan is really hot. You're talking like up around 400 degrees of pan, and that's not necessarily a terrible thing in this particular case. So, I'm at the point of sizzly water here. I'm just going to let you ride along with me on this one. So the water that I threw in, which was kind of a lot, is gone now. Let's give it another shot and see what happens. Yeah, now it's sizzling right away. And it's already gone. So I'm going to call this about ready to go. I got my olive oil here. I'm going to put about a tablespoon, maybe 2 in there. Give it a sec to get hot. You know it's hot enough when it starts to shimmer. And I'm going to swirl it around the bottom of the pan. Good, good, good. All right. In goes our garlic. It's sizzling already. You don't want the garlic to be in there all by itself for very long, because if it starts to brown, you burnt it and everything's going to taste nasty. Don't want that. Maybe 30 seconds. That's it. Groovy. Okay. Onto that, we're going to pour the diced tomatoes. I like the diced tomatoes because they just give a little bit of extra texture to our sauce. Stir them around. We got the crushed tomatoes. You can go to crushed tomatoes. Notice, by the way, I'm not turning the heat down. I want this to get up to speed pretty quickly. So, to this mixture, we are going to add a little salt. I've got my kosher salt here. That's maybe a teaspoon, maybe. A few turns with the pepper grinder. Beauty. Okay, I've got some oregano. How much? About that much. I got some onion powder here, and I'm just going to do a few shakes into it. There we go. Nice little dusting. Garlic powder. Okay, so there's more garlic in here. Now, most of you have this stuff, granulated garlic, which is also good. All right, this will do the trick. I don't know why. I just like using this stuff in things like sauces. So that's what we're doing in here. So this is truly powdery stuff. It's like baby powder consistency. And again, just give it a good dusting. All right, and finally, some basil. Now you might have noticed, like over here, oregano, right? Garlic powder. I got these big hunkin' Sam's Club style bottles. And then over here, I got the basil, which is in a different bottle altogether. Here's the story behind that, okay? This bottle was my mother's. This was my mother's when I was in Kings Park growing up. And when she moved, I grabbed it. So this bottle has been kicking around my kitchens since I was in college. Here we go. Basil. So that's it. Just I have a weird sense of attachment to that bottle of basil. We can stir that in. This is the point where if you have pre-cooked sausage or meatballs or whatever, you throw those in. And then if you want, and I think I'm going to do this tonight. I wasn't originally planning to. I'll throw Here we go. Just a couple of shakes of red pepper. Give it a little bit of a kick. So everything's all stirred together. We're bringing it up to a simmer. We've got one more ingredient to put in, and that is our tomato paste. Here's one of my tricks. So I've got the top of the can cut off, and you do this, and nothing happens. But you take your can opener. Shh, not Pampered Chef. I don't have that one yet. Just poke a little hole in it. Now you're starting to let air in, and the stuff will actually start to drop out. But go even better, cut all the way around the can and just extrude your tomato paste through. You will have to fish out the other end of the can, but that's good. A lot of people like to make a mess by using a scraper spatula or whatever. You could do that, I suppose. Once again, stir everything through. Wow, that's some good tomato paste. Tomato paste, of course, being thick, it's going to take a little extra stirring to get it through. That's why I'm kind of doing it sideways, like I'm whisking almost. I'm trying to break it up at the same time that I'm stirring it in. There we go. Even lukewarm, it's good. So that's that. Bring it up to a simmer. Let it go 15, 20 minutes, something like that, and then you can serve it with your pasta. So that's it for fast and dirty red sauce for your pasta. Let me tell you something. If you're going to do spaghetti, linguine, whatever, rigatoni, any of those things, one of the things you do at the end, okay, is you take some of your sauce, just a couple spoonfuls, you put it into a big metal mixing bowl, put it on the stove, put the stove on low, okay? Let it get all bubbly, start throwing in your cooked pasta, right? Stir it in, add a little more sauce, more pasta, stir it around, more sauce, da-da-da-da-da-da. So the pasta actually cooks just a teeny bit extra, but it's cooking in the sauce, which means the sauce is gonna suck right into the pasta. It's good stuff. Consider trying it that way, alrighty? I'm not making pasta this time, or I'm not making pasta that you would put the sauce on top of. In this particular case, I'm doing baked ravioli, which is simple enough. You put the ravioli in, you put the sauce in, you layer it a little bit, zing, into the oven for a little while until it's all bubbly all the way through. Delish. All right, now that's it for tonight. Enjoy. Bon appetit, and I'll talk to you soon.